Hello everybody, this is Captain Matt with String of Pearls Charter Company. And maybe you're wondering how we got here. Well, it's a long story. So let me tell you about how all this got started. I'm standing here in front of River Supply Company in Savannah, where I just bought a whole bunch of painting supplies and everything. But because we are a Coast Guard inspected vessel, we get a lot of different inspection levels that other boats don't. And there's certain things that we have to do. We have to get hauled out of the water every 2 years to get credit for what's called dry dock inspection, where we get out of the water, they come and look at all kind of things, and we have to do that every 2 years. So this is our 2-year time frame. It's actually not quite true. We were supposed to do this last year, but we couldn't ever get it scheduled, so we waited till this year. Because of that, we take advantage when we're out of the water anyway and go ahead and do all kind of repair stuff. So this video this week is going to tell you all about how we got the boat ready by getting everything off of there. We took the mast down and we're getting it rebuilt. I can't wait for you to meet the guy that's going to be rebuilding our mast for us. He's a super good local carpenter in St. Simons, and it's just awesome. He runs a cabinet shop there and it's great. And so all of this that we do is to make sure that we stay compliant with the Coast Guard, as well as just taking care of the boat, making sure that the boat is doing okay. I mean, the stuff that we would do anyway, it makes sense. So that's why we are hauling it out. That's why we're doing all this work. You've seen us do it before down at other places. But I have to tell you, I really like the way we're doing it this time. These folks at the Valona Marine Railway are just fantastic, Matt and his crew. We've got great partners like these guys, River Supply Company in Savannah, Georgia. And I'll tell you, if you're watching this video and you see, if you've got a yacht or a boat or anything anywhere, man, these guys it's so important to know them. They're just incredibly helpful. But all the different people that help go into making something like this happen. So this video series is all about how we're doing our dry dock inspection this year, and about how we're going to get everything back rolling for 2026. So here's how the week has gone. The first thing we have to do to get the boat ready is strip it down. That strata glass has got to come off of there. The mast has got to come down because it needs repair. We're actually rebuilding it. Those signs are going to come off because they're going to get redone. The benches are already off. We got them off forward. Everything has to come off to get ready to go to Valona so that we don't have to work around them when we're there. And these guys did a great job of that. Good morning, everybody. We are in the Altamaha Sound, about to make the turn into the Little Mud River. It has been an uneventful ride so far, although we have had some fog, which just makes it kind of interesting to drive along, but everything is going good. It's a beautiful sunrise, and we are making pretty good time. We got a incoming tide or a flood tide, and so when we're going with it, we're going about 13 miles an hour, and against it like we are now, we're about 9.8. So pretty big current, but we're about to make our left turn into the Little Mud River. Hopefully there's enough water in there. We'll check back in a little while. All right, we made it to Valona, and we're just waiting for the tide to go slack so that we can get hauled out. There's still some current coming through. Hang on and I'll show you guys what we're seeing. All right, this is Valona, and there's the railway over there. Let's see if I can make this thing zoom in. There we go. We're waiting on high tide to stop. We're waiting on the current to stop. As you can see, I'm still drifting just a little bit, and so we're waiting on that current to stop, and right over there we're going to get on that railway and they're going to pull us out. I'm not going to be able to film it, but I will show you when we get on the land. All right, so he's just started hauling us in. See, that big thing over there is real. It's pulling on that wire, and we're sitting on a cart. And he's giving instructions to these guys back here about where the stern needs to be. They know how to do it. They've been doing it forever. They pull shrimp boats out this way. And so slowly but surely we are coming out of the water. Ever so slowly. And this is a little bit nerve-wracking for me, obviously. There's the back of the sled right there, where the white PVC pipe is. Can you see that? Right there. And if we did it right, the end of the keel will be right there where that is.
I think she was fixing to start coming, Matt.
At some point, he's got to put the supports in. So let's see what he's going to say. Okay, so these guys are doing good work back here, keeping the stern off the dock. We're actually sitting on the railway car. We'll go up this side. And all right, we're back moving again. They've moved in two of the supports. They don't want us moving anymore, so I got to stay here.
shove the front one.
He uses that big stick to push in the supports on the side, because we'll be sitting on the keel, but what we don't want is...
Walk over here.
I'll be back. I've done it before, I think. All right, here he goes, walking up there again. Start hauling us some more. Okay guys, so here we are. We made it to Valona and we're out of the water up on the railway. These guys are unbelievable how helpful they are. I had to climb all the way down that ladder. That was terrifying. But the old girl looks pretty good, I think. You know, we've got a couple of things that we're gonna look at hard. And they're getting started already, scraping the bottom off. And you can see, it's so funny, these tides in Georgia. So we've just been up here a little bit already. The tide is on its way out. There's where it came to. There's where it's going. Running gear all looks pretty good. The props look like they're in great shape, which is so nice. And then we'll get this whole side taken care of and painted. It's gonna look great when we're done. We'll have lots more to film on this as we go, but we're glad to be here. Glad to get things going. Well, good morning, everybody. It's just me up here this morning so far. And it's a beautiful morning. It's a little bit overcast and the sun's coming up pretty early. Nice and peaceful out here. Low tide. Tide's just starting to come in. We've got the inspection today, so the Coast Guard will be out here in just a little while. And they'll go through and inspect the boat and let us know if they find anything that needs to be addressed. And whatever they find out, we'll fix. Hopefully, got anything. I've walked around the boat pretty good this morning, and I think it looks, I think it looks okay, but we'll see. We'll just see if they find anything that needs to. So I see a couple of places that we're gonna fix, but that's why we're here, is to make good repairs and make sure that String of Pearls is good for a long time to come. But we'll have a good day today. It's a beautiful morning. I'll catch up with you in a little while. Well, we got day 2 up here in Valona. Got the Coast Guard here. I got NavCom out here. My good friend Captain Brian Cabler. Let me tell you, these guys are unbelievable. They will really help you out. Here is their information. We're up here trying to get some seacocks freed up for the inspection, and we got Captain Clint headed back down there to try to free up some limber holes. So we got it all going on this morning, but just letting y'all know that we're all good up on the hill. Come see us. So the Coast Guard is here already this morning, but while they're up there doing their inspection, I'm sitting down here because I hate that ladder. And I got James over here spraying just some little preliminary hull cleaner on here, getting rid of some of these rust spots and things like that so that we can then come back. He's already done right over here, and you can see it's already taken most of those old stains off. So James is doing a good job. We sure are lucky to have him up here helping us out. Gnats are out this morning. Gnats are pretty bad, but we're doing the best we can up here on a kind of an overcast, cloudy day. Check back in a little bit.
So this is Paul, and Paul is my master shipwright that is really overseeing this project. And Paul is such an amazing man that it would take me a year to say all the good things about him. You'll see a lot of him in this video series.
Morning, everybody. Here's the update from Valona today. We're still up here working, got everything going great. We're pretty excited. We had the Coast Guard out yesterday, and we got a real good report from them. We got a couple little things that we have to fix up, but all in all, it went great. We're super pleased, and we're so grateful for those guys coming out and helping us out, help keep everybody safe. We're sanding them down and getting everything ready, and we ought to start getting some paint on the old girl next week. We appreciate everybody's support and all the nice comments that we've had. Everybody that is kind of tuning in, both of you. But we'll keep the updates coming. And right now we're up here making progress in Valona. Can't wait to start showing you some painting going on next week. So up forward here, we've got a couple of little items that we need to address. Let me figure out the zoom on this camera. So as you can see right there, there are a couple of little spots that we're gonna have to put some fairing compound in, or really more than fairing compound. We're gonna plug them up pretty good. We had some worms try to get in there and affect it, but we've got that covered, and that's gonna be fine. So we're not all that worried about that. And up here behind the anchor plate, we've got a little bit of some reason some water got in there, and we've got to fix that, but that's no problem at all. We can do that pretty simply. We're gonna get all that covered up. And then, so walking along down here, everything looks really, really good and no worries at all. All this looks great. So we're not concerned about anything that we're seeing along in here. And then what we've got here is a couple of more little issues that we've got to take care of.
Here you can see Paul getting started making that repair. And he uses West Systems epoxy filled with a thickener that makes it stick to everything. That's our epoxy table over there, and just some of the other scenery around Valona. It's been really foggy this week, but I think it's going to be better next week.
Well, hey everybody, good afternoon. It's day 4 up here in Valona. We're having a good day. The breeze has finally come up a little bit, and that's a good thing for us because it keeps the gnats down. Gnats were terrible this morning in all the fog. We still got lots going on. Yesterday we spent filling in some wormholes and things like that, and they had, we were over there popping them out with a blowtorch and all that. Today, all I've been doing is running back and forth getting supplies. And we have a very strong addiction to West System stuff. And I can tell you everything you see right there is expensive. Thank goodness. So hopefully this wind noise is not too bad. But we got it going on. We're starting to stir up bottom paint over here. There's Matt over there stirring up bottom paint to make sure that that's going to work okay. But I'm pleased to report everything's going just fine. I think we're actually a little bit ahead of schedule. So all good reports from here. Keep those cards and letters coming, and we'll see you back in St. Simons in just a little bit. So as you can see, we're getting first little bit of epoxy in over here on this keel, which is great. And when I say we, I don't mean me. I ain't doing it. I'm not good at it. Got the running gear all cleaned up. Things are looking good up here. We found, I say again, they found a little hole right there, or a little, little place where either worms or something have gotten in. But we're getting all this done and starting to get this all filled in. This is how we get worms out. This is the side that people see the most of, port side. That's where people walk on right there. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Boy, we've had a good day today. I have been to Savannah and back to River Supply Company, where I have picked up a truckload of supplies, including all of our primer, a bunch of rollers, a bunch of solvent, all kind of stuff. Really grateful for those people at River Supply Company. highly recommend getting to know them. Anytime you need anything marine at all, they got it. They're good folks up there. So we are getting ready. We've made a ton of progress today on the boat. James and those folks have been out there and got the starboard side mostly sanded. So I think that we're going to be able to get primer on there starting next week. One of the things that I had a good talk with the people at River Supply about, the paint is going to get a little bit cooler next week, and so we're going to have to rig a tent on the boat. We're going to have to put some plastic and make a tent so that we can keep the temperature up in there. So stay tuned for that. But all good with everything at the boat in Valona. This is day 5, and we will provide you an update as things go on. I think we're going to try to put the tent up tomorrow, so I'll be sure and film all that. All right, talk to y'all later.
So all in all, we had a great week. Got the boat there safely, getting good work done. I cannot thank enough Matt and Jake and the guys at the Valona Railway. They've been so helpful. Paul and James have done a great job, and Clint. Everybody really pitched in to help this all happen. My guys from Navcom that came up there, and we're going to have some other folks up there next week to work on it. So we'll be back next week with another episode. Stay tuned. We'll have daily updates, but we just cannot thank you guys enough for the support, and we will see you next week.